Intanto iniziamo, così facciamo la parte, diciamo, più noiosa della presentazioni, ovvero oggi farò io una breve introduzione, come sempre, dopodiché lascerò la parola a Roland. Chi vuole, Daniela ha già alzato la mano, quindi terminata questa prima parte, vi promuoverò come panelist e potete aprire le vostre cam e essere presenti diciamo live insieme a me e Roland, così faremo questo workshop e al termine se avete domande le facciamo tutte alla fine, oppure Roland decide Q&A when is the best moment, so this is up to you, Roland. E
What is up to me? What is up to me? You were talking Italian.
Q&A, so
Yes.
if you want to have it at the end or during the workshop, as you want.
Okay, so if there's anybody who has a question, you have a voice, right, and a microphone. So it would be great if you just say, "Hey, Roland, I have a question." Now, if we find out that there is too much delay, right, and it becomes, then please switch to chat, and then Simone will moderate that and pass. I'll be watching the chat, but then I will be watching Simone all the time. So if he goes like, Roland, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Try if you're in the group at work, then pass to Simone, and then a lot of communication going on is in real life.
Ok, perfetto. Questi KanBar, che questo è giunto al 12° appuntamento, sono organizzati da GetConnected, che è una business unit di Gruppo Euris, è un'azienda IT che ha festeggiato 30 anni di attività l'anno scorso, siamo circa 500 e abbiamo differenti business unit che si occupano di differenti diciamo, prodotti e linee di business sul mercato. Ne abbiamo dal custom development all'ICT a tutto quello che è il mondo della customer and shopping experience, però oggi siamo qui con GetConnected. Siamo una business unit di circa 40 persone e aiutiamo le aziende nella trasformazione agile dei processi utilizzando metodologia e tecnologia. Lavoriamo tanto con Agile, quindi per questo che siamo anche qui con Roland questa sera, e siamo Platinum Solution Partner Enterprise e anche da poco Marketplace Top Vendor per Atlassian, quindi aiutiamo le aziende ad adottare i tool della suite Atlassian. Come consuetudine ci sono qualche domandina, la prima è questa, essendo questo un KanBar, avete già il vostro drink? 30 secondi per rispondere, abbiamo un 40% che ce l'ha, un 40% che recupera e un 20% che adesso andrà a prenderlo. Avanti, avanti. Ultimi secondi. Abbiamo una parità tra sì e non ancora, recupero subito. Si può far meglio, essendo un KanBar. Veloce, veloce. Settimana scorsa abbiamo avuto una pausa. Vi è mancato il KanBar dopo 3 mesi che tutti i mercoledì è stato fatto. Mi conforta. Sta vincendo il sì, per fortuna. Bene, bene. Mi fa piacere adesso. Ottimo. Allora, questo è il percorso che abbiamo fatto da Pasqua in poi, quindi dal 6° KanBar in poi, quindi abbiamo avuto con noi Easy Agile, ALM, abbiamo avuto con noi dei talk sulla flessibilità psicologica, sull'innovazione all'interno delle aziende, abbiamo avuto un KanBar dedicato al mondo dello sport con 4 sportivi attuali e diciamo passati. Abbiamo avuto Insight settimana scorsa, 2 settimane fa, settimana scorsa abbiamo fatto pausa, oggi la 12ª puntata siamo qui con Roland, settimana prossima ultimo KanBar e lo faremo insieme ad Atlassian, che è appunto nostro sponsor di questa iniziativa, e quindi dopo dal 3 di giugno KanBar va in pausa estiva dopo questi 3 mesi e mezzo in cui siamo stati assieme. per riprendere poi dopo l'estate, in quanto adesso tutti quanti la sera escono e c'è sempre meno gente al KanBar, quindi diciamo che ci piace anche dare pausa e ripartire dopo l'estate con nuove idee. In tutto questo, a quanti KanBar avete partecipato fino ad oggi? Tra i soliti 30 secondi. Abbiamo un 50% da 1 a 4, un 20 da 5 a 6 e un 30 fedelissimi da 6 a 11. Dopo guarderò e chi li avrà fatti tutti alla fine vincerà una birra offerta dal team GetConnected. Prima di lasciare la parola a Roland, l'ultima cosa che vi chiedo è: quanti di voi usano pratiche agili in azienda nei propri team, all'interno delle proprie organizzazioni? Diciamo, chi conosce, oppure diciamo, chi non ancora e chi invece è qui proprio perché vorrebbe capire come fare per adottarli. Ultimi 10 secondi. So Roland, we have 60% of people that is using Agile, 30% that not yet but they want, and 10% that don't use Agile. So just for give you the number. Okay. So now it's your moment, Roland, from Utrecht, Holland. Tonight is here with us. I can't hear you. You're mute.
Ah, now you can hear me. I thought it was you. It was you who muted me, Simone.
No, I
okay.
don't not do nothing.
Okay.
So we have here Roland, that is an Agile coach and Scrum Master, but he goes through his presentation. And what in italiano, so it's easy. Adesso, siccome è un workshop, aprirò per chi vuole, alza la mano, lo promuoverò come panelist, così si potrà aprire la telecamera and we will have this workshop a little bit interactive.
Okay.
Don't
now,
be shy. Just...
Yeah, I didn't get a word of what you said. So let me, can I take it from here?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at the chat now. Maybe you can repeat in Italian. Is there somebody who doesn't understand English? Can you repeat that in Italian? If they want to, if they want to put a message in the chat, then say like, "Io non comprendo English" or something like that.
No. Everyone is understanding English.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
yeah.
Good. Because I don't speak Italian at all. A little bit of Spanish, some French. So we're gonna have to do this in English. Well, welcome everybody. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yeah. I'm promoting people, so everyone can open the camera if they want.
Yes, please open your cameras. Let me see who you are. Let me give you a totally free hug.
Yeah.
I'm hugging you virtually.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So if there's not too much noise, crying children or neighbors doing building a new kitchen, you're allowed to turn on your microphones to just say whatever you want to me, because this is like a real live place where we are. I really like, oh, right. I see a person, Mike has a beautiful red hat. That's good.
So everyone is mute, so everyone is shy.
No, it doesn't matter. If you're shy, if you don't want to show yourself, I'm all right with that. But if you're like me, then you can turn everything on. Okay, let me try to share my screen. I'm not allowed to share my screen, Michele. Oh, Simone, sorry.
Why not? Yeah, you are. So
it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Okay. All panelists. Try now.
Try now. Ah, now it works.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, very good. So I hope you all can see my screen, everybody. Good evening. I understood that there is 10% of the people who does not really work with Scrum or Agile. Well, you know, the stuff that I'm going to say is going to be maybe very things that people really recognize that do the work of Scrum Master or Agile coach. But if you're not into this, then there will be some takeaways for you as well. We're going to do a couple of exercises. I'm going to invite you to do some exercises if you want. And they're good for everybody, not just for Agile coaches and Scrum Masters. They're helpful for everybody. But of course, since I am a Scrum Master and I work with Agile and Scrum all day, I will be talking about this Agile coaching stuff. And that's why you're here, because it was called Agile Coaching in a Nutshell. So what is this all about, Agile coaching? Well, let me tell you, it's about servant leadership. And servant leadership means that you actually are the boss of a team or of a group of people, but you've got nothing to say at all. You're like, your hands are tight together, your mouth is shut, your hands behind your back, and you have to try to make the team do things. That's impossible, because you're the lowest of the lowest, and you have no mandate whatsoever. You cannot command those people because you are a servant leader, which is you are serving them. You're serving the people. And because you're doing such an excellent job in serving them, they will see you as a leader. That's the whole idea. I don't know if you guys got kids. I've got kids. That's being a servant leader. You cannot tell a kid what to do. Well, you know, when they're 3 years old, then you can tell them what to do, okay? But once they grow up a little bit, you know, my daughter is 19, my son is 20, he just turned 20. I'm not going to tell these people what to do. They got a mind of their own. But I can be a servant leader. You know, they can trust and respect me for the things I do, and they come to me when they need me. Well, that's brilliant. That's what I try to do with teams as well, that have some kind of assignment, yeah, in a company that works Agile or Scrum, or maybe just a project team for that matter. So this is me without glasses, doing a very pose, like knowing it all. And I besides coaching people and solving problems in organizations, I also make comics, and the comics are called coach.nl, and it's about Scrum and Agile, and I try to make life a little bit more funny, because everybody's so damn serious in what we do. That's a big joke. And I created Scrum Cards, and Scrum Cards is a way for people like young Scrum Masters who are feel the challenge of implementing the framework with teams, so they can have like this pocket-sized reference of the Scrum Guide and look things up, or maybe play games. There's a game in it as well, so you can play games with it with your team to deepen your knowledge of Scrum. Well, that was all for the commercial messages. Let's get on with this. I need to hurry up a little bit because there's not enough time and there's a lot of work. Okay, so this is what the comic looks like. This is not a joke. This is just one panel of a comic. When I talk about ESL, that's short for effective servant leadership. So what I'm trying to show you in this brief moment that we share together is how difficult it actually is for us humans to communicate and to understand each other properly. And what I experienced as a Scrum Master is that, we'll do this, let's begin in a minute, right? But what I experienced as a Scrum Master is that it's very difficult because you're focused initially on trying to understand yourself, the Scrum framework, and because it's so small, there's a lot of stuff you need to add to the framework to make it work in reality with teams. So you're really working on implementing a process or a framework. And this training or this workshop that we're doing today is about all that stuff that is not being discussed in the framework. It's about human interactions. It's about the difficulty of how to get people to do things you want without telling them what you want them to do. Yeah, that's difficult. Now, before we move on, I would like you to go to I'm going to use the chat for this. I'm going to paste a link in the chat, if I can find the chat. I think I can, hold on. Here it is. I will paste a link, and my question is, please go click that link and open it in a browser, preferably like Chrome or Firefox or something. I see already somebody coming in. And it's a free tool. Sorry, Atlassian. It's a free tool by Google, and it's called Jamboard. And I want to use this quickly because it doesn't have a lot of functionality to it, but the functionality it has is good enough for me to work with tonight. Now, I'm on the board, and I've pasted a couple of stickies, and I want to invite you to click stickies as well. I mean, there's this sticky icon in the toolbar, and if you click it, you can start making sticky notes. And I'm making a sticky note saying hello right now. Here you go. If you want to try it too, then be my guest, because there, Simone, there you go, free hug, yeah, we're getting it, cool. Different colors, all that, you can shape and turn and twist and move them around, and you can also make small drawings with the pen. If you take the brush pencil, then I can, for instance, I'm circling around the hello world now, just for fun, so that you have a little bit of an idea where it's for. I would suggest to take the thicker brush to make sensible drawings, because the small ones I don't like them, they're too ugly. So this was the tool introduction. Now that we've got this one covered, okay, and we all understand the tool, we will be using this tool a little bit later on, because I would like you to, okay, here we are. So I would like you to look at the top of the panel. The top of the screen has this little 1/19. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but I'm expanding it now. So you can see there's multiple pages. Now, I don't know if you guys can manage to move to frame number 2, so that you know that there is a second page. Yes, it works. I see somebody nodding. You can manage, and okay, good. So now you know how to go to a certain page. So later on, we're going to do exercises in groups, and I've numbered the pages with a big gray 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to make 5 groups, and then everybody in room 1 is going to board 1, which is the Jamboard with the number 1 in it, and everybody in group 2 will go to the Jamboard with number 2 in it, etc., etc. And then you can work there together in a separate room. All right, that's enough now for the Jamboard. Let's go back to my presentation. Cool. Maybe on the first page of the Jamboard, you can put in your name. You can put in the city that you live in. I just want to know what it is. And then maybe the number of years of experience you have with Agile and Scrum. If it's 0, it's 0. I don't care. If it's 100, put in 100. I would like to know who you are and a little bit like what your role is or how many experience you have with working with Scrum and Agile. You can do that while I will keep talking, by the way. And remember, don't press clear frame because you will erase everybody's input. Anybody have a question so far? Speak up.
Nope.
Am I talking too fast? No, is it all right? Good. Okay. So why do I want to have this talk about effective servant leadership? I will tell you. It started a long time ago already when I was struggling in my role as a servant leader, as a Scrum Master, because it says in the Scrum Guide, it says something about servant leadership. And I've found it very difficult, like I said already before, to try to collaborate with people without having some kind of authority. I mean, if I have a team and I pay the people in the team, I have authority. Because if they don't do what I want, I can choose to raise or not raise their pay. Yeah. And that's not the situation when you're a servant leader. You don't have that kind of authority. So I found it very difficult to understand that role properly, and I was having problems. And in the meanwhile, I'm skipping slides in my slide deck that you can follow. I was having this incredibly difficult disease called atalophobia, which is I had the fear of not being good enough. I thought it was my problem. I really thought it was my problem that I was not able to properly manage teams the way the Scrum Guide intended me to do so. And that was, of course, because when I was younger, I had a great, when I was a kid, because I had a lot of freedom. But there was only one thing that my dad was a very strict person. And he was always very much keen on me getting good grades at school. So I was in school in Belgium for some strange reason, but there they had this classification back in those days of they ranked all the pupils in the class. But when my father saw my half years and end years reports, he always went like, you're number 3 again. How come never number 1? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you got a 6 out of 10. How come that's not a 7? Ah, so he was always unhappy with my results. Although my results were good, even if I had an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, he was asking, why can't you do any better? And his intentions were good. He was trying to servant leader to me, he was trying to motivate me in some sort of way. Like, try to be the best. That was his message. But I didn't catch it that way. I was feeling I was having a telophobia. I thought I was never good enough. I never did. And this feeling, stayed with me till like, I don't know, I was 31, I think. That's when I got this huge tattoo on my back and I said to my dad, yo, I stopped living for you. It's my life and I have to choose my choices. And I'm not like you. If I have a 7, yeah, of course it would have been better to have an 8, but I like the 7. It's okay with me, It took a while. But I'm telling you, a lot of people have struggles, challenges, because of where they come from. They have challenges nowadays at work, maybe not be aware of those challenges where they come from, but we all carry challenges, and that's not bad, but you need to be aware of it in some sort of way. It helps if you're aware of it, if you want to help other people. I mean, now the role of the Scrum, this is a picture that was created by Buddy Overveem, a Dutch colleague of mine, and he kind of tried to summarize, hey guys, leading agile teams and being the coach of an agile team or any other team is pretty difficult. This also for, I know in Italy, they really like soccer, they like football. Football team coach has to be like a guy that solves problems. He has to be able to get into those minds of those overpaid football players, right? 18 to 20-year-old kids. And he has to coach them, he has to teach them, he has to manage them, he has to, make sure they move from one place to another. Some stuff needs to be changed in the football corporation because the way they pay salary be changed or whatever. So this coach he has the technical staff. It's like Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, football coaches. It's a pretty tough job. Okay. I get a message that my internet connection is unstable. I hope you guys don't get that message. I don't see it waving. Okay, so it's good. A couple of years ago, I made this drawing to kind of show over time. When I started as a Scrum Master, coach teams, I started in the center with me. It was all about me. The problems I had to fix the first time I had to coach a team were my problems because I did not know the framework well enough. I did not know how to implement that framework on a team. I had to experience that still. And then once I got that sorted and I felt a little bit more secure, I had to start to learn how to really deal with that team and the people in the team. So my scope of problems that I was fixing expanded. And after I was able to get a team running a little bit, and understood it better, there were other teams as well around that team that caused problems for my team that I had to fix, okay? And then when I fixed those other team problems a little bit, there was this whole organization around it that caused problems for my team. So the problem expands as you grow into, once you get deeper into coaching people, teams. And then this thing, right? We all started working from home recently, and this causes new challenges again. This gives new opportunities and also new problems. Because if you're a Scrum Master, for those who don't do Scrum, is pretty close to a team, or maybe to 2 teams. So there's a lot of events happening, a lot of ceremonies, a lot of meetings that the Scrum Master would like to attend to understand what is happening in the team, especially when everybody's working from home. Now, I'm talking about software development. So these developers, in the beginning, they just love to be at home, right? Because this is what they were hoping for. So they could be at home without all this rubbish around them and start coding. But then those developers need to talk to each other as well, right? They need to know what other people are doing and how they're doing, and they need to understand what the progress is together. And that's what the Scrum Master is for, to make sure that stuff like that happens, so that they are self-organizing as a team. Because that's your main goal, to make people self-organizing, because you're a servant leader, not a boss, telling people what to do. So self-organization is important, but very difficult in a situation like this, right, where everybody works from home. Now let's take a short look at history. I don't know, in history there was this iron triangle, right? And managing projects or managing product development there's this span of how do you call it, creative tension, where the main focus actually for us when we start to do Scrum, to move away from projects to product management, is that we focus a lot on the process. We want to make sure that everybody understands how to do the events in Scrum and how Scrum should be used to start developing product. And we also have a lot of attention for purpose. We come from project management, where the project manager decides everything and goes over budget and about who's in the team and determines scope, signs a contract, guards timelines. And here we are doing Scrum, making scope variable. I'm going fast now, I know. But scope is variable, and the product owner in the role of Scrum is determining the purpose for the team. Right? So we have a product and we have a purpose. And the team starts working and delivering value as much as we can. But all of this is done with people. And what I've noticed is that the large majority of Scrum or Agile implementations is false, is not working. Well, it is working, but we expected it to work differently, because we expected Scrum to deliver value fast. And what does Scrum do? Scrum shows you very fast what problems you need to fix. So Scrum is like this source of problems that is popping up, and that's not what we expected. But that's what it is. And the people who are trained, like me, Scrum Masters, to help the teams to understand Scrum, they just become problem fighters. And what we forget is the people. Everybody just looks at this process and the purpose that we have and tries to fix problems, and forgets that we're working with people. I mean, we do it all the day, but we never got trained to work with people properly. So my call to everybody who is in some kind of role of Agile coach, Scrum Master, or leader, manager in an Agile organization, or Agile project manager, my request, my kind request and purpose of this seminar or workshop that we have now is please, 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 please focus on your soft skills. Work on understanding how the human brain and psychology works, because we are all forgetting about this. And it's getting more clear as we are all remote. With this, we're communicating over screens. I cannot see what is happening on the left side of Davide. I cannot see what is happening at Roberto's because he's got his camera shut. I cannot see what is happening downstairs in this building. But if we were in the same office, I could hear it. I could feel it. I could smell it maybe. I don't know. So the world is different now. Right. So what I would like to ask you is to think about, for yourselves now first, think about what personal goals do you have in your daily work? What goals do you have in your daily work for yourself? What do you want to achieve? Let's say, think here. What do you want to achieve? What are your values? Okay. And I also would like you to think about what is it you want to achieve with the teams that you work with? What is that? What kind of goals do you have there? Is that like you need to deliver every 2 weeks, or you have this big conversion that you need to take care of selling more, I don't know, subscriptions. What is your goals with your team? And what is your goal here with your team? Okay, think about it. Now, if you think about those goals, you can also relate to what skills do I need to attain those goals? Do I actually have the skills to attain those goals? What if one of my personal goals is to have a happy team? Just imagine. Do I have the skills to create happy teams? I never went to school to learn how to make happy teams. You know, I'm just improvising. I mean, most people do. Good. So your goals and your skills, by the way, goals is like problems, but better. Goals is a very positive way of talking about problems. Yeah, but we don't focus on problems too much. My message comes from positive, solution-oriented psychology. Solution-oriented means we don't need to know, like I told the story about my dad. You don't really need to know, and I don't really need to know all the details of the problems that my dad caused in my head. If I want that, I will go to a psychotherapist to fix that. Yeah. At work, it's much more fun to focus on goals instead of continuously focusing on problems. And that's what Scrum does. It gives you all these problems. Try to focus on goals. Now, I'm going to try, can I do this? Hey, Simone, yep. I would like to make rooms.
It's not
Can you
easy.
make rooms?
Yeah, but I have to create the breakdown before.
No, you can't. You can just, if you make me a presenter, I can do it immediately. It's not a problem.
Okay, more. So you're the host.
Sorry, guys. You didn't know about this. I didn't tell it. Yeah. Okay. Let me try again. Yes, I think I can do it now. Pause recording, stop recording. No. There's no. No, I can't. More maybe. Create breakout rooms. That's what I want, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a breakout room option. But if you can do it, that's all right. But you don't have to, you can do it just randomly. You can just create 4 rooms and it will automatically distribute all participants into 4 rooms.
Let me check.
Sorry, guys.
I don't think that.
So I need to be a co-host.
Now you're the host, so.
I'm the host. I am in control.
Yeah, I don't have the option to the breakout.
No, you don't. Oh, okay. That's horrible. Well, anyway, then we can't do that. Well, then that makes this a little bit less interactive, I think. So what's going to happen now is that there are, how are we going to do this? I made some sheets in the Jamboard from page 2, so frame 2 on, for goals and skills. So maybe everybody just go to one of those 4 boards and just start writing down your goals and what skills you think that are attached. And the problem is you will not, well, you can talk, but then just everybody has to turn on their microphone. That's going to be very horrible. Normally we would do this in separate rooms, but I didn't know you normally, I never had this, that you cannot switch on breakout rooms. But well, then let's just all, because we're not 100 people, let me change the script. Let's all go to board number 1. I will share the board with you. Yes, let's all go to number 1 and let's all share our goals and our skills on the same board. And please, if you want to unmute and say something about it, like I'm putting in enhanced skills or sales, then do so. So this is a salesperson who wants to enhance sales. Who's that? Who's enhancing sales?
Yeah.
Ah, Agnese. Hey, hello.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to enhance sales.
I wish.
But if you look in your heart, okay, you wish you could. But what does it need, maybe? Huh? Sorry?
Sorry, the line is breaking up. I can't hear exactly what you say.
I was saying, what would it need from you to be able to enhance sales? Except for learning how to do that, you would maybe also have to motivate people, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So how would you motivate people? What skill?
I'll think of it.
Yeah, good. So I already see somebody putting down as skills, empathy. Who wrote that one down? That's a great one. Do you wanna speak? The person who put in empathy as a skill? No, they don't want to speak. Okay. The ability to listen. Yes, absolutely. The ability to listen. Let me see if there's more. Making decisions. Yes. Now, making decisions. I don't know who put it there.
Me.
I would like to comment on. Ah, you. Well, you. Listen to me. If I say the word servant leader, who would be making the decisions?
Not me, not the leader, but there's different way that making decision is also helping the others making decision. So it's not only
Yes,
the
that
one.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's
not only
so that's
the one-man show, but it's helping the team to make the correct decision. And you know which is, but you have to take on board all of the teams.
yes.
I
Very
changed
good.
making
I like it.
and
Ability to listen, teamwork, yes. Creating teamwork, effective actions, ability to make the team focus on value, yeah. Enhance sales, encourage the team to change, yeah. So the goal would be that the team accepts change. I'm looking at this yellow one here in the bottom. The goal would be to encourage the team to change and breaking rules, right? Breaking down rules. Now, that's what kind of skill would it require to get a team to love change? It's difficult, right? So what I'm pointing at is that there is a lot of stuff that we don't learn at school, like making kids grow, right? Like raising kids. You don't learn that at school. And managing teams or working with teams, you don't learn that at school. So I'm going back to my slide deck because I see it's already pretty late, actually. I want to do a little exercise with you. And the exercise is, I'm just a volunteer. I love that. I'm not going to be a servant leader now. I'm just going to be choosing somebody who's falling asleep maybe. But oh, listen, we're going to talk about conversations because we're talking all day, aren't we? We're talking all day. We're talking all day over chat and Zoom and whatever, and in real life in the offices as well. But how good are we actually at having a normal conversation? I'm telling you, we're not as good as we think we are. And if you're not aware of having a good conversation, just think about the goals that we just written down and the things that you want to achieve and the skills that you need. Being able to have a good conversation is like the basic thing. You agree? Now, just imagine that we're looking at a conversation from one perspective here, and the first perspective is that we look at is you're talking about, okay, in the I position. So I want you to do something for me, and that's the first position. The second position is then that that you're talking the you form. You might want to do something for me. And the third position would be that you don't talk about I want you to do something for me or I need something from you. It would also not be could you please do this for me, but it would be a third position. And that's like a meta helicopter view where you say, hey, what are we talking about actually? What is happening between us, right? We're having this conversation about something, and I feel a little bit of resistance. I'm all of a sudden not talking anymore about borrowing your car, but talking with you about the process of our conversation. That's the third position. Now, I need a volunteer. I don't know if I'm allowed to choose a volunteer who doesn't have his microphone on.
Alessandro.
If I say Giuseppe. Alessandro, okay. Well, I'm fine.
I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer.
Good. Alessandro, so please, I'm going to talk to you in the first position. Yes, I'm going to talk to you in the first position. The other people just listen. And I'm going to ask another volunteer for some feedback after this conversation, okay? Hey, Alessandro, listen, man. My car broke down. I need to borrow your car tomorrow. Is that okay?
Okay.
I know you drive a beautiful Maserati, but still, I need it tomorrow. And I know that you know that I'm a lousy driver, but I really need your car. Is that okay?
Okay.
That's right. Okay, good. Good. So, Simone, I'm just choosing an easy feedback partner here. How did you observe our conversation? Simone?
Yeah. Your line
yes?
is stable.
You
yeah.
heard the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's better. So you freeze like that, but
okay. I don't see anything happening. So I'm not. I don't know. I'm okay. Am I okay again? Test.
Yeah, your voice is
yes,
fine.
you're okay. Looks like you have some bandwidth problems. So I may suggest you for a while to try to, to take the camera off, just to save bandwidth. Maybe, I don't know.
That's okay. I can do that. Yeah, I'll try. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is better. Yeah. So I was asking Simone.
Yep.
Yeah. I was asking Simone. Did you hear our conversation?
Yep, I hear it.
Yeah. So can you try to describe how the conversation went? What did you notice?
Yeah, so that you make the decision for Alessandro. So the only stuff
brilliant.
that he has to do is say, yes, okay.
Yeah. So Alessandro, did you experience like what Simone says, that you were kind of, well, you forced into saying yes in some sort of way?
Yeah, I was like, it was my ethical core that you touched to say, I need you to give me that because I need you. So I was a little bit forced to say, hey, of course, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But now let me do it again, okay? But I will take the second position.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Alessandro, listen. Remember, sometimes in life you can have those situations where you go like, damn, this is just not my day. Yeah. And you know what? I'm experiencing a day like that. Did you ever have a day like that it just doesn't work out the way you want?
Oh, yes, it happens.
Yeah. And did you ever call out for help from friends or people that work together with you at your office to see if they maybe would like to support you when you're having difficult times?
Yeah, well, usually I lean down to friends and families and maybe colleagues as well. Yeah, it happens, and sometimes they give me lending hand and they help me out.
Yeah. Okay, but you're aware of the fact that sometimes you don't want to do that, and then it's okay if you don't, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the difficult situation, I mean, is that I've been a little bit stupid here, and I didn't bring my car to the garage on time, so now the car is broken. Maybe I was wondering, maybe you would like to borrow your car just for this one time, so I can bring my kid to school. Would that be okay for you?
Yeah, sure. I'm not needing my car right now, so yeah.
Wow, that's great, man. Great, you're a great friend and a pal and a colleague and all that. So okay, that's it. That's the end of this conversation. So Alessandro, I know if you compare this conversation to the first one, was there any? There was a difference, right? I mean, you're still feeling things that I want from you, but did it feel different because I tried to approach it more from your point of view, or how did it feel?
Well, yeah, in the first time you were more straight and direct, and asking for direct help. This time you were a little bit sugarcoating it, which is fine. I can resonate more on your day. I can empathize more because, of course,
yes.
We all feel we have the bad days when everything goes south, and then you need a helping hand from a friend. So I feel more like, okay, I can be your friend today.
Cool. So I play the empathy card, right?
Yeah.
To play the empathy card, I was trying to be empathetic, or how do you call it? And I was talking a lot about how you would feel in this situation. So, and then I clicked the button. So now we're in position 3, right? We're discussing the process of the conversation that we just had, because we were now talking about how it went, what it did to you, how you felt about it. So this approach is something that I want to give you to practice at work. When you want something from someone, for instance, I need you to use a burn down. Maybe your team doesn't use burn down charts. Maybe try to use the second position. Or in another conversation, try to move to position 3. Move away from the content and talk to the person, say like, hey man, do you notice what's happening here? Do you observe the way that we're communicating right now? What's happening, man? That's the third position, okay? So that was, I'm going to start my video to see if for some magic reason things are better again. If it doesn't, then I want Simone to wave crazy at me and say, no, it's not good. So that was one way of looking at conversations. We're going to look, so this is a summary that I'm showing you. It's like the I position is the first position. The you position, you're trying to really put yourself with empathy in the position and shoes of another person, which will help you. It will make things easier for another person to help you out and to support you. Now let's look at another perspective of conversations. Roberto Giari, I know you're there. Maybe you can unmute. I was just picking a name from the list. But Roberto, maybe if you look at this picture and this woman says to the guy, listen, I've been there before. What you need is a burn down. So this is a Scrum Master saying to a team member, I've been there before. What you need is a burn down. So Roberto, if you can hear me, can you tell me in position 3, maybe, like how does this feel if somebody would talk to you like this? Oh, he's gone. He left the building. Somebody else who wants to comment on this? How does this feel if somebody would say this like this to you?
There's Fabrizio.
Okay,
Fabrizio.
I try.
Yeah. So how does this feel if somebody says to you, listen, I've been there before. What you need is a burn down.
Is another one that grant you a free suggestion that you won't listen, probably.
Yeah. But how is this woman behaving? What does she remind you of?
That he was already there.
Yeah. And who says that as well?
Sorry?
Anybody? No, you don't understand? So does anybody recognize the way this person is talking from
Your parents?
some other time? No? Yes, excellent. This is a mother. This is a mother talking to a child, right? So this is a different way of looking at conversations.
This is why usually I don't follow this suggestion.
Isn't it patronizing?
Yes, it's very patronizing. If you take the stance of a parent in your wording, in choosing the words, then the other person will feel like a child. They're being forced to feel like a child. And therefore, they will give you a very childish answer. Yeah? We're too busy, you know. Nobody else makes burn downs. No, we don't do it either. So talking as a parent is not very helpful because it will create children around you. That's not a good way to build teams, okay? So this is coming from transactional analysis, and this is basic human psychology. And it makes sense to try to move into the green area. Try to talk as adults with adults, because we're all adults. And it helps if you think about how you choose your words, your tone of voice, to see if you're being childish or if you're being a parent. It works a little bit well if parents talk among each other. So if me and Agnese would talk about somebody else, go like, oh, he's always doing so and this and that and blah, 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 then we're like parents talking about someone else in a child role. That works, right? It's not very respectful, but it works. At least Agnese and me will be communicating on the same level, the same perspective. So this was the second way of looking at conversations. I want to quickly look at a third way. And this is closely related again, but this is also, this perspective is very useful if you want to, for instance, prepare a workshop or something. I was already talking about the content. Now the content is the stuff that you talk about. So if me and Fabrizio are talking about cars and about how fast this car is, then the content is the car, right? And all properties of the car. Now, the process is whether we are talking as parents about a car, or the process could be that we're arguing, or the process is, right, that we're, I don't know, it could be the way we have the conversation is the process. And the structure, that's what the coach or the Scrum Master secretly prepared. If I want someone to do something, then I might think, before I go into this conversation, wait a minute, I know this person is very much about ego. I know this person recently had a couple of big scores. He did a couple of good things. So what I'm going to do when I talk about this thing that I want from him is to first give him a couple of compliments about the accomplishments, because I know he likes that. And, you know, I'm just preparing the structure of my conversation, right? Which will help me. It's to get this person do whatever is needed, and not saying you have to do this. Okay, I would like to have this person decide for themselves to do this. Now, this sounds like I'm just trying to influence people heavily, which is true, but I'm not being a bad guy. I'm just trying to understand what people are like before I start talking to them. I like to prepare a workshop before I step in front of a group, because this is very helpful for preparing workshops as well. For those who are Scrum Masters, if you are, somebody says ow. If you're in an event with your team and two developers start arguing about something, then move to the process. Intervene as a Scrum Master and say, hey guys, time out. What is happening here? You guys are having a fight, okay? Let's discuss what fighting is good for. You're not talking about the problem they're discussing, whether it should be color blue or color orange in their architectural decision. You're talking about the way they're talking to each other, the process. And that immediately brings a lot of results. Okay? That's the coach focus. Good. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Agile Coaching Growth Wheel, but the Coaching Growth Wheel contains a lot of skills that coaches would be required to have to do a proper job. And I didn't really like it too much. There were parts in it. You can look it up and then look into what you feel about it. But some things were, the yellow parts were not in the right position. The red parts, I think, were not interesting. So I created something else that I would call effective servant leadership competency donut. And what I'm saying is that when you want to be a good leader, a servant leader, you first need to work on yourself. You need to understand yourself. You need to know who you are, how you, what kind of things you have from the past in yourself, before you can start helping others. And so from yourself, you can move to coaching individuals. Once you master that a little bit, you can start maybe try to coach teams, and then maybe work on the product, because you need to work on the product as well. Because if we don't sell product, we're bankrupt, and then there's nothing to work for anymore. And then grow the whole organization. And it requires a real multitude of skills to do that, right? You have to know about designing, about teaching, about soft skills and all that. You can look it up if you want. So I created this matrix of stuff that we need to know. And the green parts are the things that are, like I started my talk, undervalued, sorry. And if you want to practice all this kind of stuff, I think you need to do a lot at work to really practice. You can learn a lot of stuff about individuals, right? But you need to interact with individuals to really learn. I will send you, I will send Simone a copy of this and some additional information, so you guys can have a look into it and read a little bit more about it, because time in this session is too short. Now, what influences coaching's effectiveness? Like I already said, we first need to know ourselves. It's from Aristotle. That's an old guy, man. He was here like thousands of years ago. He knew already. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not alone. You hear voices in your head. I hear voices all the time. I'm telling you, there's a lot of voices in my head. And it doesn't make me crazy. We all have them. And knowing yourself, right, is to discover who's riding the bus. It's like a bus with a lot of people on the bus, and every once in a while there's a different person taking the wheel, driving the bus. And we have this preferred bus drivers, okay? My preferred bus driver, if I'm in trouble, right? That's when you feel the best what your preferred bus driver is in your head, your preferred friend. When I'm in trouble, when I'm under pressure, if somebody gets angry with me, I am trying to be reasonable and I'm trying to explain, right? Because I think that data, right, gets the emotion out of things. That's my primary persona to cope with fear. I have a lot of other personas in my head as well. I have a very, I cannot stand people that tell me what to do, right? I can become very aggressive when people tell me you must do this. That's somebody else driving the bus. So while I'm saying this, and I'm saying this a little bit slower, because I see people think, and that's exactly what I want you to do. Anybody want to share? If they know, like, what's your default person? Do you know this person, right? Do you know what's your perfect first reaction when you're under stress? What do you fall back to? What made you so successful in life? What got you where you are now? Do you know this person very well? Well, you probably do, but maybe you didn't give this person a name. Maybe you should. He's your best friend. He got you where you are. Yeah. And if you don't know who it is, then think about how people see you. People see me as a very active person, very creative, noisy person. I can be very blunt. Those are all different drivers of my bus. Okay. If you want to become more effective in what you do, it makes sense to think what persona, what person in your head in this typical situation would be the best bus driver. Is the guy who doesn't support, who doesn't tolerate a boss? You know, that's one of my personas. Is that the best guy to drive, to make me, control me when I want to convince people that they need to adapt to certain change? Probably not. Okay. Is there anyone who wants to be so maybe to share if they are a persona? No? Okay. Am I still there, Simone, or are people not hearing me anymore? Is it okay?
Oh, yeah, your connection is
not
really good,
so
but we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. There was a little secret I told to Simone. I'm not going to share with the others, but I have very good reasons why my internet connection is not the strongest today. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So it's also interesting to think about, when have you learned this persona? When did this persona come into your life? Chances are big that was when you were like in puberty. That's when you first were on your own feet and you had to prove stuff. And probably that's when you met your best friend. Yeah. Now to conclude, and again, sorry for the poor connection, but to conclude is, there's also people that you have pushed away. People that sides that you don't like of yourself, right? And if you're not really very well aware of those negative sides of you, because, hey, of course, we're all perfect, then possibly think about who irritates you. I cannot stand people who come up with spreadsheets and data and tell me they've got it all sorted. Yeah, Fabrizio, yeah, right. I hate those people. They really irritate me to the max. They make me aggressive, right? And I have to fill in stupid spreadsheets for them to satisfy their data need. I hate that. But the good thing about it is it learns us a lesson. It helps us, instead of pushing it away, try to get into those people, try to understand what good parts there is in what they do. And maybe you find out that you're a very sloppy person yourself. Maybe you find out that actually a little bit more structure in tracking data would benefit you as well. Right? Okay, so learn to know yourself is to learn your inner voices and to learn those people that are inside you that you kind of pushed away. Okay. Good. Now, there's a last page in the Jamboard, and I think it's on Jamboard frame number 6. If you want to leave a comment there or a note with a takeaway, or if you have a suggestion for me, like, hey, Roland, get a better internet connection, thank you, then please do so. But the idea of this talk was to show you a little bit about understanding how difficult it already is to have a proper conversation and different perspectives to look at conversations. And the idea was to maybe make you see that it might help to think more about who you are if you are in a role where you have to support other people in going through difficult times, like accepting change or adopting change. And I kind of summarized all that into a concept that I call effective servant leadership. And if you understand effective servant leadership, then you are a true agile coach, I think. So, anybody has questions? Oh, I see questions. I need to know better the people on my bus. Yes, exactly. That's brilliant. That's a good takeaway. Yeah. Yeah. So please open your mics. If you want to say anything, just go ahead.
Don't be shy.
First question from me. Thank you for your time, first of all. It was really interesting. And how much time you have to spend on yourself to improve this skill? Because the chart that you proposed to us, I don't remember the name, ESL.
Donut.
There are big arguments there. You have a lot of things to learn and to master probably. Yeah. So it's something that you need probably years or?
It's probably going to take you a lifetime, but
good.
I mean, but that's not bad because you're not working on a project, you're working on a product, and the product is you, and the product has a life, right? It doesn't end next month. So, and even if you stop being a coach, then I still think working on your soft skills and understanding how to support organizations and individuals by better learning yourself is a valuable thing to do. So, how you can work with the donut or the coaching wheel, whatever you prefer to choose, is if you look at all those aspects that are in there, and you would print it, and you would take a marker, and you'd go and draw, like I'm on the ESL Jamboard, and I will try to make a drawing to make it clear. So if this would be the donut, and the donut is not completely round, but it's still.
Page? Sorry.
Sorry, 6 out of 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've drawn this not so good circle in the bottom. Okay. But you've got all these areas in there, and you could go for yourself and try to create like a drawing that shows how good you are at stuff or not good, right? And it would maybe look a bit like such a star figure, and then you could rate yourself in how good am I at teaching, how good am I at soft skills,
like a spider map of.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I didn't know if you were familiar with that. A spider map, exactly. Okay. And then if you would record a spider map for yourself, and think like, oh, actually, now that I come to think of it, thank you, Roland, for showing me all these skill things that I need to think of. I really need to work on human psychology, and then forget about the rest, and then choose some subjects of human psychology and work on it. And then 2 months later, take that donut again and then think, yeah, I know more about psychology now. Things go better. Now, what's my next weakest point? What am I going to focus on? Just, use it like a way to continuously try to perfect who you are in your role as being a servant leader.
Okay.
Hope that helps.
Yep. Self-assessment, but yeah, probably any. Okay. It's really, it's not so easy.
No, it's not. No, it's not easy. So what I do is I've put this ESL thing into a 4-day training, and of course 4 days is not enough. But in 4 days, what I do is there's a lot of intense exercising going on, with having a lot of conversations, coaching, doing reviews of each other, giving feedback, learning how to give feedback, learning how to apply Jung, learning how to apply positive coaching techniques. And it's all cramped in 4 days. And then, you got like a bag full of luggage, of knowledge that you can use to continue your journey with, right? Because it's never enough. You would need like 4 years maybe to become really good at it. But I try to squeeze everything together. But I will first, what I will do is I will send you a little bit more of a summary of all the aspects, more detailed aspects that I think could be covered. And you could for yourself take it from there. I mean, if I say transactional analysis, right, that's one of the things that I would think you would be very useful to know. All those subjects are listed, so you can go and Google for yourself and find a cool training or something like a write-up on the internet on transactional analysis and work it for yourself. Yeah. And Simona will send it to all attendees that were here tonight, so you guys can then find your own way. Anyone else?
If no one else, I have another one. Can you go back on your slide to the donut?
Yes. Well, I'm trying to. Wait a minute. I lost my share. Yes. Oh, there it is.
Okay, thank you very much. So, if I understood correctly, it's better to start with the pink one on the bottom and then going from the right, red, green, and yellow, or as far as you know, it's something that you can start somewhere else.
Yeah, you can start anywhere you want, but I'm telling you if you need to coach an individual in a team, let's say there's one person who has problematic behavior because he just does not want to take anything from anyone else, right? He only listens to his own ideas.
Like Simona, you're saying.
Well, yes, of course, without knowing yourself, you can have a good conversation with this individual about these issues. But if you know more, if you are more aware, because this is going to be a difficult conversation, right? And if you are more aware on your physical responses in difficult situations, like sweaty palms, right? Like feeling your heart beating very hard in your throat, like temperature rising, yeah? That is stress, and stress stops you from thinking. So if you do not first learn what your stress symptoms are and how you can manage them, you will have not enough space in your head to really support this individual in trying to learn something. You know what I mean? So of course you can have the conversation, but it will be less effective, is what I think.
Okay.
And the same goes for like stimulating creativity, doing a design workshop. If you're anxious to be in front of a group doing a workshop you've never done before because you've just designed it, right? And you're going to try this out, and you don't feel very safe, then it might become more difficult to get people to join the idea of this workshop in comparison to first having fixed that problem of feeling insecure for yourself. So I think that knowing better how to use your body and yourself and all the persons in your head as tools for what you need to do, I think if you start learning there, you will already be more effective in anything of the other subjects that you pick up.
Easy one, Fabrizio.
Yeah, really easy. Done.
Check in the box. Next.
Check.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there's a lot of quiet people, and that's good, of course. If you liked what you heard, and you have a question and you don't want to speak, then maybe you can put it on slide number 6 of the Jamboard. If there's anything popping up of suggestion or takeaway or question, then here it says suggest the workshop to all bosses. Absolutely. If a boss does not understand servant leadership, your life just becomes a mess, right? It's just horrible. Yep. So this is especially good for people in leadership positions to better understand A more practical example is a question. Understanding better where to start. Okay, so I will answer this green question saying understanding better where to start and a practical example. Where to start? Start tomorrow. That's when. And then where to start? Start in the first conversation that you're going to have tomorrow. If you're online tomorrow and you're with a group, then don't say anything. Take a piece of paper and try to describe the process that is going on. Right? Try to separate the process from the content. When other people are speaking, try to determine how they communicate. Because when you're coaching, 9 times out of 10, you know, these psychologists, they always lean back and pretend to take notes and they nod and they say, yes, yes. Well, what they're actually doing, they should be doing, is focusing not on what you say, but on how you say it. They're really focusing on the process. And that's why you need to master yourself, because you need the space to be able to focus on that process, on that third position. So very practical. Next session that you're going to be in, that you're facilitating or that you're a part of, that you're listening to people talking about whatever they need to develop or they need to do or their daily scrum or whatever they're in, try to determine what process is going on. Who is taking the lead? Who has the big mouth? Who does not speak? Right? What are the relationships that you can easily determine, and what would be effective for you as a coach to intervene? My favorite is, yes, Simone, we've heard your voice and your opinion lots of times already, but Fabio Livrani also has great ideas. I know, because he's a smart guy. And we didn't hear his opinion yet. So maybe we should ask Fabio what he thinks about this subject. Now I'm being a coach, right? I'm intervening in the process. I'm not saying, Simone, whatever you're saying is crap. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what you're saying is great. But there's maybe other people. I am saying without saying that you're talking a lot. Yeah, I'm just moving the energy to a different space. So that's a concrete example of what you can do. Make notes of the process. Try to understand the process and see if there is a need for you to intervene in the process instead of intervening in the subject of the discussion, in the content. I hope that helps.
Yep.
My camera is still off, right?
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Nope.
I'll do it again. Ah, it doesn't work. Okay. I'm pouring a glass of wine.
Oh, it's better now. So your connection will be better.
Oh, it's not going to help.
Sorry, guy. I have to go. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Reply.
Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao ragazzi. Ciao a tutti e per i presenti.
So, if anyone has other questions or not, so the Jamboard will be still open. So if you have some question to pin it, it's not a problem. And then I will share the slide and the Roland contact. So if anyone want to talk with him, I share the contact of Roland with everyone.
Yeah. So what I will do, I'm saying it again, just to repeat, I will download as a PDF all slides, and the Jamboard as well. More hooks and the coach, and I will send it to you, everybody.
Okay, perfect.
You will have my you will have my email address, and if there's anything you want to ask, then feel free.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Roland. It was great, your speech, so great argument, and it's really a pleasure to have you with us. and hoping to have you in the next live in Bologna, so
Yes.
we can do something together live, talking each other and sharing wine.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's. This is a deal, right? We have a date. I will join you in Bologna. We'll have wine and do some fun.
Whenever you want.
Good.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Nice
sorry for the poor connection, guys.
Oh, don't
My
worry.
apologies.
Everyone knows that Utrecht has a bad connection.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So,
Bye.
Roland,
Ciao.
please do hand for everyone. So you're the host now.
Okay, I will end for everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.